Hey, good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, as well as our other outlets as far as the podcast. Tonight, we got a good show ahead in store. It's a pleasurable show because most of the people that I actually intermingle with on a day-to-day basis are diehard sports fans. And one of the things about being sports fans is the essence of any sport. I've never met a person that loves sports but did not like high school sports. So what these gentlemen are doing is very unique and very as we say trend setting to what they're doing. These brothers have this. I'm not going to say recruiting thing. I just say that they're helping out our youth. Think about going to the next level, and it's always multifaceted. So I'm gonna bring all four of the gentlemen on the screen because now we have the other brother Creek with us. So I'll bring all four of the gentlemen on, and you guys can take it away. First of all, let's talk to Shannon. Shannon, Dream is like your baby, huh?
Yeah, it's my baby. I started the process about 5 years ago. I saw the need for high school athletes all across the country, needed that exposure. So what we did was create a platform for them, not only on the recruiting side, but also with showcases, national publications and school that we have coming up. So it's not just recruiting. We have a lot of phases in our program.
And I know these two gentlemen. I'm a couple years older than them, but we all grew up in the same town. We have what I would consider you're born with an addiction to high school sports, preferably football, but to high school sports in general. I mean, it's embedded in us. We still argue about it to this day. Even our elders, where we grew up at, still argue about it to this day, whether it's a town rival or whatever. So we got Anthony and Creek with us. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
All right, now we're gonna get to the gist. The last time that we hear the word dream, it's always the Biggie reference.
Yeah.
Who's Noel, Anthony? That's somebody else?
Yeah, that's Creek. That's Creek's wife, I think. That's Creek's wife. So she's up on there. So,
she coming in too?
She's not. She don't want to come in. She's just listening.
Oh, okay. She good. So
don't let her in. Don't let her in.
Let's explain to the common person what is Dream all about?
Okay, so in my thing, it's a sports recruiting service. What we do is we help the kids get exposure, whatever sport they're playing in. So we run the gamut from football, baseball, basketball, volleyball, soccer, pretty much everything, track and field, pretty much everything. We're here to serve the people that are under recruited and that live in small towns, and they don't get as much exposure. Us growing up, we were blessed to be in an area that had major exposure, like 908, 732, 201. Those area codes had some pretty good football. 862, it had some pretty good football. For as small as New Jersey is, we put out a high level of athletes. So Q, growing up, Union was ranked USA Today top 10, top 5, top 2. So my junior year, USA Today came to the school. We were ranked above Don Bosco, St. Peter's, all of them. So it's a little bit of arrogance that comes to it, but that's just, we were blessed to be in that position and to have those type of spotlights. Playing in the field with 8,000 people for a Universal Elizabeth game packed to the stands. You know how that was. But we're here to help the kids that want to need another shot. Need more exposure. Need just more eyes on them. That's why we're having the showcase.
Shannon, hold on, Anthony. Shannon, if you don't mind, give me a little bit of brief history about your background, because I know these two gentlemen. We've known each other all our lives.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'm a little south of you guys in Delaware. That's where I'm from. So
somebody,
let's hope it's not the carbon monoxide, right?
Yeah,
let's hope it's not the turkey.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you can hear me, but I'm from the state of Delaware. Played 3 sports when I was growing up, which was football, basketball, and I ran track. Being from Delaware, only 3 counties, a lot of athletes are overlooked. They feel that, people can go into Philadelphia, or they can go into Baltimore, they can go into Jersey. Why come into this small state when we have all these athletes all over the place? So, it's just a chip on your shoulder coming from the state. And you can have all the ability in the world, but you got to get yourself out there a little bit. So I was the same way. I knew I had a lot of ability. But when I first started, it was tough to get my name out there. So I developed a game plan, went to a lot of showcases all across the country. And by the time it's all said and done, I had about 70 offers to play football. I chose to go to Villanova University because, 1, it was up the street, so my parents could see me play every game. 2, the school setting is great, man. The average, size of the class is only 15. And then I knew the degree I would get leaving there. So I wanted a place I can go right away and play, and not have to wait my turn, and then also get a great education. So I went to Villanova. Then after that, I graduated, got my master's in school counseling. I did that for a couple of years, also a head coach at a high school in Delaware. But I always had that entrepreneurial spirit in myself, and I knew that there was a need all across the country, not just in Delaware. So I started this up, and it's just growing. I got great people like Anthony and Creek in here that are helping push the brand in states across the country. So, that's a little bit of background about myself and how we got started. Okay.
Well, you're from the first state, man. You ain't got to feel bad.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man. I love the first state, man. I love it.
So Creek, I know how you are, man. I know you on this education thing. I know you be like, listen, sports is one thing, but listen, you got to get these grades up. Like people say, man, D1, D2, D3, it's all the same in your eyes. I mean, be able to play sports and get a free education. So what's Creek? Tell me some of the challenges you're facing with these younger people that everybody think they are a D1 athlete.
So it's really about helping them, navigate and understand, what's the best situation for them. I want to first go and say that, the dream process is a lot different than a lot of the other recruiting services. There's all these recruiting services out there, But what I've learned from studying some of the others is Dream really concentrates, on the education, and that part is important. And that we do a lot of legwork. I feel that the communication and the relationship that we have with our athletes is far different than anyone else. And with that said, the kids that I talk to, I explain to them, what their best option is. So sometimes it might be to go to a JUCO, do what you got to do there, because maybe that's where the money's going to come from, or that's where the aid's going to come from. You go there, you ball out there, and then you can move on to where you're going to get the money. So that's my biggest thing. Doing what's best for them education-wise and where they can get the money, so they're not coming out of school, in $200,000 worth of debt. And also explaining to them, hey, listen, if someone's offering you a full ride to Cornell or to Bucknell or to Columbia, take it. Go there and play. If you're that good, they will find you. You don't need to be at Clemson, if Clemson's not offering you. So it's really about helping them navigate, the best course for them based on education and, being able to play.
So let me, I just asked all three of y'all the question. I don't want nobody to feel like I'm leaving them out. How do you guys feel like with doing what y'all doing and COVID now, and each state got their own restrictions? I know, Anthony, you like to travel, so I know you'd be wanting to be like, yo, I'm out. I want to go see some kids,
Well,
so how is that challenge?
Well, the challenge, it presents an opportunity because, now, put it like this: New Jersey is pretty much kind of not in the lockdown, but they're the tightest out of all. The Northeast is the tightest out of all the states. It's actually helping us because normally a kid would have a chance to play a full, 9, 10 games plus playoffs, whatever, and you would have more chances to have more eyes on you. Thanksgiving games, kids would get time. Playoff games. Now they added a new game up in New Jersey, the new bowl game. We would have 3 or 4 extra games to be seen. Now, since that isn't happening, you see a lot of kids. Like today, I'm on Twitter and I just see kids just begging coaches, check out my highlights, check out my highlights, check out my highlights. You know what I'm saying? Just emailing coaches and talking to them. And, I feel bad for them because it's you have marquee kids, you have marginal kids, and then you have kids that, need shots. And all of the kids are struggling. It's not just the middle of the road kids or the kids that aren't marquee. It's everybody. And coaches, their inboxes are blowing up, and it's just I've watched so much film today and shared so much film. It's unbelievable. But it's helping us because now I see a demand for our service. I see a demand for the kids wanting to go to the showcases. I even see the coaches. When I talk to them, and I'm having my showcase on December 6th, the coaches are like, "Yeah, no problem. I'll come down. I'll check the kids out, and I'll see them." And I'm just like, "Whoa, okay." No problem. Slow down a little bit. Let's just talk about how we're gonna do it. But I just see that like COVID and all this has literally presented us with an opportunity to help more of these kids, get where they want to go. So, it's crazy. And then you see some states down south that, hey man, anything goes. Anything goes. But up here, I just see that our service, the need for our service has blown up.
What about you, Shannon? Do you is it a difference than Anthony with dealing with the COVID and doing because I know you got a bunch of different regions that you got to kind of work with everybody. So how's it from your perspective?
Yeah, it's what he said. We have scouts in over 40 states, so in all regions of the United States. The South has been open, never really shut down like the Northeast and the Midwest. And the West Coast. So they have more opportunities to showcase themselves. But with the D1 programs and the dead period, D2 was the same way for a while. As Anthony said, when we have showcases, normally these athletes would be able to go to the college showcases and perform in front of those coaches. But now, without them being able to host and have camps and showcases and junior days and visits, they're relying on us, so they can watch live streams or actually come out to our showcases. The athletes, their seasons are either in the spring or they're condensed to 6 games. So they're looking for other opportunities to showcase their abilities as well. So what we do is we tell all our scouts, do multiple posts a month, on your athlete, building their exposure. We also send recommendations out, at least 15 to colleges a month. You can do many more if you can. We have a one-on-one call, coaching call with each athlete that's signed under us to make sure that we're on the same page. So we get into that personal recruiting coordination. We have a master class, which is an online program that gives them the education they need about the process. And then we give them action steps when we call the master class 2.0 directly to the email saying, right now you should be doing this so you can be proactive. And families love that personal touch. They don't know what to do to get their name out there. This is uncharted waters for everybody. So when they join in with us, they know that they're going to help get that extra exposure, and someone's going to guide them along the way and give them those action steps. So like I said, it's been really successful getting people in, and they're seeing great results by using our program.
I know one of the things that me and Anthony talk about every year during the NFL draft. Anthony bring it up. Somebody done did it. One of these recruits, one of these kids, they done looked at their Twitter account from 15 years ago when they was like 11, 12 years old. They done tweeted some crazy stuff, and now it's affecting their draft stock in the NFL or NBA or whatever. Are you guys telling these kids now, like, listen, be mindful of social media, be mindful of what you put. You don't want to be too political. What's that advice?
Well, now you have coaches telling them that. Like if I go down my Twitter feed, coaches are literally telling kids, this is the proper way to contact me. This is how you do it. This is what you shouldn't do, on your Twitter feed. They even tell kids the length that their highlight film should be. They're like, anything over 5 minutes is too long. They're like, we can see everything we need to see in 3.5, 4 minutes. So they're pretty much like, telling the kids, what they need to do. Any kids that I deal with, I'm telling them, like, listen, anything you do on social media is public. No matter how much you try to hide it or whatever, somebody can always bring it up. It's archived no matter what. Once it's in cloud, it's pretty much archived. And so you got to be mindful about what you say, what you do, even about who you're around and who you're with. Your main focus should be on how to get yourself into school and how to get yourself into school and not have to pay for it.
That's the biggest thing. I engage a little more, because I take it personal with anybody that I deal with, because I want to educate them. Things are so competitive now, and one little thing that you do, can mess you up. I know some of these high school kids now, they want to go out and these parties and they want to drink and they do all that, and some of them mess up. I know a kid who got a scholarship to a high school, but the high school, they drug test him. He couldn't stop smoking weed, so he lost his scholarship. So I use him as an example. I mean, I don't say his name, but I use him as an example of just having to do the right thing, all the time, because, their future's on the line. Yes, I understand you want to have fun, but you got to be smart, and I stay on these kids, I build a personal relationship with all of them, and I show a genuine interest in, what they're doing on and off the field.
Yeah. And even retweeting, that's
Shannon, the retweeting too, right?
Say that.
Shannon, you was about to say something about retweeting?
Yeah, I was gonna say, even if it's not your original content, if you retweet something, that's like you co-signing, and or if you like something, they're going to say, oh, you like that post, that's controversial, or you retweeted that, that's controversial. So all that stuff right there will still come back to bite you. And some kids don't even realize that. They're like, I didn't post that. That's not me. I just retweeted or I just liked it. All that can be seen. So you got to be careful because, if it's a scholarship on the line and everybody's equal athletically and academically, then they can go to the character thing. You made a couple posts that were questionable. Someone else didn't. Let's go with that guy.
Well, I know that Creek and Anthony have dealt with the Uber parents before dealing with Pop Warner football. But Shannon, have you ever had any crazy experiences dealing with the Uber parent? The one that thinks their child is the next Charles Haley, Lawrence Taylor, and let's get the kid in college first.
I know, right? Yeah. I had that. I was head coach for 13 years at a high school. So over a decade, you're gonna have a lot of those parents that are over the top with some things. I had one parent that liked to stand kind of in the end zone, and we started with a different running back and not their son, and they actually sprinted down our sideline and got in our coach's box and was asking, "What are you doing? Why is my son not in the game? Why is he not starting?" I'm sitting looking for the AD, state police, someone like, we're in the middle of this game. Why is this parent in our coach's box? So that is the one example of craziness that you see. I tell parents all the time, let's give 24 hours to cool down, and then let's have a meeting, in the school, in the office, and just go over, what happened for the week. It might have been practice wasn't great, or they came late to a few. There's various things that cause, some things to happen in the game. So we just tell them, let's cool down and then let's talk about it. But yeah, we had, being a head coach for 13 years, I've seen a lot. Does Dream have like a standard when it comes to advice with reclassing, or that's based off an individual? What do you guys think about that? I know it's something that just started, it wasn't going on my day. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but what are you guys' opinion about reclassing, suggestion? Was that more individual with each athlete? Yeah, I see it here in Delaware a lot. You get kids that repeat 8th grade. Some kids get held back earlier, in kindergarten because they're just projecting, how can we get them older and more advanced by the time they get to high school? I don't have a feeling either way. I mean, it's your child, so whatever path you take, if you join our program, we're going to work with you and help you get to where you need to be. I've seen it work, where someone, stays back and now they have a year to mature, and then they take their game to the next level and it helps them be noticed. But I also see sometimes kids revolt on that because you put them an extra year in school and, they're repeating a grade. They might act up a little bit because they are familiar with the content and everything. So it goes both ways. But personally, we don't push that either way. It's on the family.
Creek, what about you?
Well, so I try to, I agree with Shannon. I mean, it's the, family's decision, at the end of the day, but, I advise, what I think, I'm going to give my opinion, but at the end of the day, again, it's up to them whatever they want to do, like I said, I just advise. That's all I have on that.
What about you?
Well, I feel the same way. It's to me, it's like whatever's best for the kid. Because I'm never going to overrule a parent. I'll give my advice, but I'm never going to overrule a parent. In making the decision for their kid. I put my input in. I'll say here are the pros and cons of it. Because I've seen kids I remember Isaiah Briscoe. He reclassed, and you see how it worked out for him. He ended up being a top 5, top 10 recruit and playing in Kentucky. You know, played for the Magic for a year. You know, saying some change. Now he's balling over there. So, it's the situation. You know, it's situational. I'm never gonna tell a parent like, you know, if they say, hey, you're ranked number 20 in 2020, but if you reclass to 2021, you know, you'll be top 3. That's just a better opportunity for the kid. You know, that's a better opportunity for the kid. You know, more leverage for him. So, you know, it's just a case by case situation, and it's a family by family situation. So, you know, like I give my advice, but I'm always going to defer to the family, especially, you know, when they're making a decision about their child.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question. Do you think that because you guys aren't focused just on primarily football and you do more than one sport, that it allows you to really like stay busy, stay in tune? Does it make you work extra hard?
well, you get to know the inner workings of football better and recruiting better. You get to know how coaches are. Like, you know, in the you know, small amount of time that I've been doing it, like, you know, I've learned how kids react. I've gotten better at Twitter. I didn't even really use Twitter like that until I had to. so like, you know, like I went from 0 followers to 300 within a month. So like, you know, and that may not be a lot by you know, some people's standards, but I'm literally doing this all day long. Like I get kicked off in Twitter in the morning because I send a whole bunch of messages. Then they give me a break, and then they let me come for my afternoon blitz, and they kick me off at night. So, like, you know, and then just talking to coaches, talking to kids, you know, getting to know coaches on a certain level, you know, seeing how the difference between D1 coaches, D2 coaches, and D3 coaches, because there is a difference on how they react to you. You know what I'm saying? Some D1 coaches don't even have DMs because they get like thousands of DMs every day. Some D2 coaches don't even have them. D3 coaches are more willing to reach out to you, you know, because, you know, they have a harder time getting athletes. And then, you know, just the conversations having with them, you know, you never know how many guys are actually in your area until you go looking for them. So you know, like I've just learned a lot, you know, within, you know, the past year, just about recruiting and just how it works, man. And honestly, how much of a meat market it is. Because, you know, when I was coaching, and I tell a quick story, I had a coach from an SEC team come in, and, you know, I thought he came in for one of the star players, and he basically said in so many words that he wasn't good enough. You know, like he was a star, but they said he's not an SEC player. He's not fast enough. And we have 4 guys that are bigger than him that run faster. And I was like, wow. And it was brutal, but that's what it was. So you just learn a lot, you know, from, you know, just having to do it every day. So yeah.
Let me ask Shannon. I don't know if you experienced just like Anthony and Creek dealing with parochial school and public school, like in Jersey. It's real tricky. It's something else, really. How is that dynamic with you guys? With dealing with the parochial schools and the public schools and those relationships? Because I know, Anthony, being that you were once affiliated with a winning program that you still mess with, they probably look at you with the third eye, like, is he trying to pooch the players for the high school, or is he trying to do the recruiting thing? How is that dynamic?
We just had this conversation, Anthony.
We had this conversation the other night. So my job is to get your child in college. Like, I don't. My job is not to recruit for a parochial school. To be honest, you know, I'm a public school kid. You know, I coached at public schools. You know, nothing against parochial schools, but I'm a fan of public high school football, and I always am. You know, parochial schools, yes, they do afford, you know, the chance. You know, sometimes a better chance for certain kids who are in certain situations. But, you know, my job is to just get your child in school. It's not to recruit for other parochial schools. That ain't, that's just not happening. So, I'm just here to give the guys, like, hell, I got kids from parochial schools that are hitting me up. They're saying, hey man, I need some help. I need some help. Like, it's not, my recruiting's not going the way it is. And, I'm open to helping them too. And, my job, basically, if anybody starts talking, you should, what do you think about going here? I'm like, listen, that's your decision. I'm not gonna, tell you what to do and what not to do, but I'm gonna be with you for every step of the way to, give you guidance and, help you make the best decision for yourself.
Shannon.
Yeah. So when I was a coach in Delaware, that was always a big topic. Private versus public. I was a public school coach, but you saw that all the time. That a lot of the top kids in 8th grade that were in your feeder were all of a sudden talking, hey, I might go to this private or this Catholic. And you're like, okay, how did someone get that bug in their ear? Like, are they going around meeting with the families, sending them information, targeting our kids? So that was always an issue. Kids, the families will pick what's best for themselves, for their kids. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You just want the best for the athlete and let the parents make that decision. But that was always an issue. We always, as public school coaches, would talk about that, saying, they're coming after our kids. The stud that was in 8th grade that was supposed to be coming to our school is now going up the street to this private school. And, that school is $15,000 a year. And they say don't give athletic scholarships, but somehow he's there. So, that's how it is. But, it's like I said, it's best, whatever's best for the family. Looking back on it, if a school has a great program and can provide great academics and the support the kid needs, then it's best for the kid.
Yeah, Creek, you got something to say about all this? I know where we're from. This is like a conversation. You'd be like, how did you get that kid?
It's part for the course, man.
Yes, you just be scratching your head, and then y'all know. We used to have to argue with guys from other towns. They'd be like, he ain't from Union.
Hey,
what you mean he ain't from Union? Yes, he is.
Hey, man, they was coming into Pop Warner. When I was coaching Pop Warner, they was coming down and bringing the whole coaching staffs out. Like, man, like, we'll take all of them.
So I know one of the biggest I could say benefits from what you guys do. And some of the good things is building those relationships, man. How is that like you, for example, Todd? Let's just use Todd Bowles, for example, right?
Okay.
He's a coach in the NFL.
That's who I got recruited by.
Yeah. So it's like he's a neighborhood hero for us, town next door. How is that like for a person that you guys may be going across now? Creek, you got recruited from, but how is it for like somebody you always wanted to meet? Like you was a fan of this guy, and now you got to finally meet him. Like I can't be on no fan stuff. I got to be on about business.
Well, so when I first met him, he was at Morehouse. I was gonna go to Morehouse. And then they ended up going to Grambling, and I didn't love the feel of Grambling. It didn't feel right, because he was, with Doug Williams at the time or whatever. So, well, he was gonna send me there. He didn't go, but I was excited the fact that that he was accomplished, but to me he wasn't a big deal yet. It was just like this is what any college coach was excited for me to meet, but it wasn't anything special. I mean, I just knew he was a star in the neighboring town, but he was still an Elizabeth guy, so it was a little bit, you know how we feel about the Elizabeth guys. So it was a little bit, I don't know, so, but I was excited at the fact that he was interested in somebody that was from up north, because there's so much talent in the South, and he believed in me. He was going to give me a shot, and at Morehouse, I would have got a great education.
Well, I went down to Tennessee and I met Lane Kiffin, and it was crazy. Like, the whole atmosphere of Tennessee when you get in there, like as soon as you get into Knoxville, it's ridiculous. So, when you're going down there and you're in kind of VIP, you're seeing it from like kind of a warped sense of view. So I had to like calm myself down. I'm like, okay, don't say anything stupid. Don't, like it's almost like I'm just gonna wait till they speak to me, instead of saying anything. And then you have people like I remember I went to the Walmart and I was walking with the player I was with, and people are just pointing and like, who's this, who's that, who's this, and I get into Neyland Stadium and Lane Kiffin is just sitting there like, like come on, come on the sidelines, come on there, and like it was like as much as I love football, it was like football heaven. Like it was like, man, like I can't believe I'm here. And I'm not even a Tennessee fan. I'm a Florida State fan, and I still was like man, like I'm here, like it's like I'm here, and you see like 100,000 people, just singing Rocky Top every 10 minutes and just orange everywhere, and I'm just overwhelmed. So and then I leave, and then Lane Kiffin says, "Wait," and he takes one of the media guys, autographs it, and he says, "Look, you're welcome down here anytime." And I was like, "Damn, like like this is how it is." But I didn't want to be starstruck or anything like that, but I was just like, man, like this is crazy. So and then like personal levels, even like when I went to Rutgers on certain visits and camps and things like that, just like being in the area, talking with coaches and things like that, you just kind of learn like, hey, I'm here for a reason. I gotta calm myself down. I can't be on any, starstruck stuff, and just get the job and just complete the mission for why I'm here. But can't say in the back end it ain't great though, because some of the perks are great, man.
Hey, Shannon, I know you got some stories. You went to college in Philadelphia, man. So you was like throwing a rock on the, in what's City Line Avenue, and
Yeah.
I live up in northeast Pennsylvania. So I know the area.
Shannon was going to Palmer's, man.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, man. The main line was cool. It's close enough to get to Philly. My brother, he was actually a scholarship player at Temple. So we played at the same time. So, I would try to get into the city a little bit and check out their games when like Miami and all them would come in, and play that's when the vet was still open. I was going to those games, checking them out. So that was cool. But yeah, being on the main line allowed us to be in Philadelphia, but on the outside, still had competitive ball. Like when I first got there, we had a great recruiting class with Brian Finneran, his twin brother. Brian played for the Eagles for a little bit, and then the Falcons. And then the year after, Brian Westbrook came in from DeMatha. And, when he first got the ball, we're like, okay, let's little freshmen's in here. We about to take care of him. Man, they tossed him the ball. He made about 8 juke moves on everybody and broke like a 80-yard touchdown. I was like, you know what? That guy right there is going to the NFL. I knew off the first carry, this guy was legit. And then see him be the first one ever to have 1,000 yards receiving and 1,000 yards rushing in the same season. Win the Walter Payton. Actually, I had 2 Walter Payton winners when I was in college because Finneran won it as a receiver, and 2 years later, Westbrook won it. So we had 2 while I was at Villanova. The relationships that we built was great, and Andy Talley was the long-time coach there, but he had a coach in waiting who was the offensive line coach, Ferrante. So Ferrante's now the head coach, so I can just stop in anytime, hang out. If I have some kids and they're interested in Villanova, I just call them. Hey, I need to get these 3 kids to junior day. All right, got them on the list. It's cool. The quarterback who was there with me, he's the offensive coordinator, Chris Bowden. So, it's fun to see that these guys that coached me or played with me are now still leading the squad, and we still have that relationship.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed about sports ever since I've been liking it is that the relationships is always very, very interesting. the matter of the 6 degrees of separation and the connection that a lot of these coaches got. I even be bugging out about my old supervisor at my job where I didn't even look at this guy as a football player. He was talking one day. He asked where I was from. I said North Jersey. He said, yeah, my college roommate from North Jersey. I said, who's your college roommate's name? He's like Muhammad Wilkerson. I said, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, I know his dad. So I said, I know his dad, but I remember him playing. So he's like, oh, yeah, me and Muhammad, real cool. He's like, yo, he always sent me tickets to the Jets game. This one he was playing for the Jets. So it's just amazing the walks of life with just sports in general, how it touches people and people stay connected. And I always thought that was always interesting. Even if you're not, as they say, the greatest athlete, most guys get into sports management. Most guys get into stuff that you guys are doing, which is recruiting. And I'm quite sure that you guys want to take it to a level where when a person say dream recruiting, they touched a lot of people's lives. So with that, you guys got anything you want to add?
Well, me, I just want to say real quick, shout out to Victor Bobo and the Sour Store for, making the shirts, the hat Creek got on and stuff like that, the gear. Second, our December 6th showcase is in Florham Park. Spots are filling up fast. We got a lot of good coaches, that are coming, that are going to be viewing on live stream. Ithaca. We got Ithaca. We have a lot. Ithaca. We have a lot. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but we have a lot of
FDU, Utica.
Yeah,
make sure you tag me to the flyer, Ant.
Yeah, I will. So it's Ithaca, Utica, Springfield coming down, FDU. Yeah, we have a whole lot of, and I get new ones every day. I'm just waiting on coaches. Some coaches have to get back to me because of their schedules and stuff like that. LIU, I have some D1 coaches up in there. So, we should have a good group and have some really good athletes from the area coming in. I have a quarterback from Union that just, sent me his highlights right now. And he's going to be at the showcase. So, I'm excited to have him there. Shout out to Miles McEachin from Union. He's going to be coming through. We got a couple of other kids from the 908 coming through too. And I'm just very excited about our group and our showcase and how it's going to be. We had one in Long Island a week ago, and that one had over 150 kids. And we got some really great reviews from that. Shout out to Jerry Flora, from Dream for that, So in Recruit Nation, and also we have our All-American game in Alabama. Shannon, what date is that again? I'm sorry, I'm off the top of my head.
Yeah, it's the MLK weekend. It's January 16th through the 18th. It's senior only, All-American game. We have athletes from all over the country signed in right now, and we're still looking at a few seniors. Just getting this last chance, to play a game and have some exposure.
Well, look, stay on the line. I got some information I want to give y'all, pass along once we're done. But with that, man, thanks you guys for joining the show. Everybody in the chat, check these brothers out, man. They really doing big things. I have their contact information if you need it. Anthony, what's the contact information for Central Jersey?
Mine is let me get my card up real quick. Hold on, really fast. Mine is sorry about that. Let me just get to that real quick because my phone is slow. Here we go. So where am I at? Sorry, man. I'm under the gun right now.
I'll go while you're looking.
I got it. So mine is AnthonyOutletDSN@gmail.com. My number is 973-332-7771. You can go to www.dreamscoutingnetwork.com/scout/Anthony Outlet /scout/Anthony/outlet. So that's my contact info.
Creek.
I'm Deshaun Creekmer, DESHAUN CREEKMUR, DSN@gmail.com. Phone number is 908-210-0570. And like Anthony, my link is www www.dreamscoutingnetwork.com/Deshaun. /scout/Deshaun/Creekman.
Shannon.
Yeah, I just direct people to our website, which is dreamscoutingnetwork.com. Any athlete can click join on there, and then they can put their information in our system. If they know a scout's name, they can say the scout's name who referred them, and we add it to their database page for review. But if not, then we just find the closest scout to their area and have them connect and have that conversation. So anybody looking to get a little bit of extra exposure, connections, it's free spotlight. Just put your information in, get in our national database. It can only help you.
Great. Well, look, thanks for joining the show. You guys stay on because I got some information for y'all. But with that, everybody in the chat, thanks for joining, and make sure y'all check these brothers out. Tell a friend to tell a friend. You never know. With that, have a blessed weekend.
All right, thanks.